Welcome to the 2021 Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic on ESPN. A look at Waikiki Beach and Diamond Head. A beautiful Wednesday before Christmas in the islands. Already a great day of basketball on the campus of the University of Hawaii, where Liberty won quarterfinal number 1, outlasting Northern Iowa to move on to tomorrow's semifinal against Stanford, who held off Wyoming. It's Jared Hass and the Cardinal in the semifinal against Liberty tomorrow. Our matchup, quarterfinal number 3, has the 9-2 BYU Cougars taking on the Bulls of South Florida here at Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center in Honolulu. Along with former Arizona standout Corey Williams, Roxy Bernstein with you. We've had 2 great games already. Hopefully we have 2 more.
Absolutely. You know I love the drama. Those buzzer beaters coming down in the last play. Nice to see who can come through for their teams.
Well, for BYU, they're off to a great start this season. They battled some injuries, which we'll get into. But Alex Barcelo really thriving for the Cougars. And Corey, he's one of the best three-point shooters in America.
No question about it. He's that rare combination of high basketball IQ, outstanding talent, and he has a feel for the game. Whether he's scoring or setting up his teammates with assists, he's the guy that makes it all happen for the Cougars. They get him off the ball, they get the ball in his hands, but make no mistake, he's one of the best players in the country. He will definitely have to show up tonight against a great defensive team in USF.
And he'll have to deal with one of the best defensive teams in America. South Florida does a really good job on that end of the floor for Brian Gregory. So Alex Barcelo will be challenged to get good looks at the basket today against South Florida. Gives up only 57.5 points per game. And the opposition shooting at just over 37%. They're top 15 in the country in both scoring defense and defensive field goal percentage.
Well, it tells me one thing. They contest the shot. Anytime you get a hand up on shooters, you're going to see those percentage points drop. So right now, look for the Bulls to be everywhere, contesting every shot, making life difficult for the Cougars.
So the opening tip, Michael Greenstein, our referee, will put it in the air, working with Kevin Brill and Brooks Wells. And in white, the designated home team, South Florida, has the ball first. And BYU in their navy blue. Caleb Murphy, number 23 in white, the leading scorer on the season for the Bulls, averaging 13 a game. And we mentioned the great defensive numbers. South Florida is offensively challenged, as they have struggled putting the ball in the basket this year. Up and under at the foul line, cut off is Jameer Chaplin. Shot clock inside 5. Javon Green, tough 3. And the rebound cleared by Tijon Lucas for the Cougars. Here is Alex Barcelo. And a whistle away from the ball. An illegal screen set by Atiki Ali Atiki, the freshman from Tanzania who's starting at center with the injuries that BYU has had to deal with at center. Mark Pope needs the freshman to, look, they're going to be patient with him. It's going to take some time, but they're hoping by the end of the season he can really become a valuable member for this team.
Man, that's a cheap when you pick that up on the offensive end, trying to set a screen for your point guard. You don't want your bigs picking up screens, picking up cheap fouls, but there he gets it back with a great timing on the block.
He blocks the shot of Byron Matos. And it's a foul then on Matos as Brian Gregory in his 5th season at South Florida. 18th overall as a head coach. He's been the head man at Georgia Tech, Dayton. He's had 7 20-win seasons. And he's actually, also, Corey, he's won 2 postseason tournament championships. He won the 2019 CBI with South Florida, and he won the NIT in 2010 at Dayton.
Outstanding coach with a lot of success. Really has a feel for this team and where he wants them to be. Talks a lot about them in a positive light. That's what you need at this point in the season. Everybody's about 10 games in, getting ready for conference play. Some leagues have already started, but spoke highly of his team, felt like they were right about to turn the corner offensively.
And a 3 from Jameer Chaplin off the mark, and the rebound, Atiki Ali Atiki for BYU. Trevin Nell on the baseline, has it stripped out of bounds. It stays with BYU as Mark Pope, beginning year 3, has a great record so far at BYU. He's 53-17, 4 years down the road at Utah Valley, which literally is right down the road from BYU. And was an assistant to Dave Rose at BYU and a former NBA player, the head man for BYU. And right up in Barcelo. Caleb Lohner going to work. Off balance, draws the foul. And Caleb Lohner will get a couple of free throws. It's on Jalen McCreary, the transfer from South Carolina, the foul for South Florida. So Caleb Lohner, sophomore from Dallas, averaging 7 points, 7 boards a game, and he really has had to take on a bigger role for BYU in the absence of both Gavin Baxter and Richard Harward, who are not coming back this season for the Cougars. Lohner, a 57% foul shooter. Richard Harward is here, but he's dealing with a cardiovascular issue, I should say. And he announced last week on social media stepping away for the season, even though he's an integral part of this team and a great teammate and leader for this group. And so Harward, who is here with the team, and he had an issue that surfaced in their exhibition game, and he followed Mark Pope from Utah Valley to BYU. And also Gavin Baxter, who you feel for him. Tough break, who's playing great ball. It's Caleb Lohner the steal. And slam!
That's all scout team right there, baby. Reading the play, paying attention in film, and shooting the lane. A little bit of sloppy play right there, but great anticipation.
Gavin Baxter a few weeks ago tore his ACL. Unfortunately for him, another season-ending injury for the BYU big man. As South Florida gets on the board, and it's Sam Hines Jr., the freshman, and a transfer from Denver. To the bucket and a foul. That's the second on Jalen McCreary. And at the line for BYU will be Fousseyni Traore, the freshman from Mali.
Right here, you want to be alert. You see the risky pass out to the top and just shoots the lane. Breakaway dunk. It doesn't get any easier than that, but that's just great anticipation right there. An easy two for the Cougars.
Falls out for Fousseyni Traore, who's an outstanding foul shooter on the year, 78%. He's quickly become a fan favorite for BYU with his effort, his hustle. And he's good play also for Mark Pope as BYU is up 4-2.
A lot of impact plays from him. He had a great game against the Oregon Ducks. He was the man in the middle. Offensive glass, defensive glass, block shots.
And they're getting Traore for a foul. His first and the second whistled against BYU.
For the Cougars, you want to keep an eye on this. You got a foul on each of your big men. You're already thin at that position, and we're not even 3 minutes into this game. Guys got to defend without reaching.
Off balance floater, around and in, and it goes for Javon Green. Tied at 4. Tijon Lucas in the corner for BYU. Welcome those of you just joining us to Honolulu on ESPNU. The Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic, an offensive foul called against Tijon Lucas of BYU. With Corey Williams and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein with you. Quarterfinal number 3. Liberty and Stanford winning earlier today already here in Honolulu. And still to come later tonight, Vanderbilt will take on the home team, the University of Hawaii. As an early start for BYU, a couple of opportunities for Caleb Lohner as 3 of BYU's 4 points. And for South Florida already, Jalen McCreary on the bench with 2 fouls, one of their big men. And here's a shot from the wing from Jameer Chaplin as South Florida 0 for 3 from 3 to start the game. And 3-point territory has not been their friend so far this season. Intercepted by Jameer Chaplin. Corey Walker Jr. steps in, and South Florida has their first lead. And the first points for the career of Corey Walker, the freshman from Jacksonville who began his college career last year at Tennessee.
Looks like he's been doing that all his career. Nice little pull-up jumper from about 17 feet.
Shot clock at 10. Tijon Lucas moving in. Leads Traore to the bucket, he slams it. Fousseyni Traore for BYU.
Leave no doubt, young man, when you get that drop-off pass, there's no finger rolls, don't go off the glass. You got to take it up in traffic for the dunk, and that's a nice play with some authority right there.
See why he's a fan favorite?
Absolutely, attack the rim.
There's a pull-up deep 2 from Javon Green.
Right now, South Florida shaking off some of those scoring woes. They've had a couple of great one-on-one plays. We'll see if that can continue. And their style is a little bit different than BYU, who uses a ton of ball movement. Dozens of guys touch the ball each possession. Not a lot of one-on-one out of the Cougs.
Trevin Nell fires from the corner. And Caleb Lohner tipped the rebound out, chased down by Alex Barcelo. The floater in the lane, and Traore the follow, and it goes for Fousseyni Traore.
See the presence, the great finesse, the good hands, what he brings to the table. And right now, the Cougars content to go underneath the screens, not really fearing the jump shooting.
Well, look, when a team is shooting just 37% as a club on the season coming in, you're going to dare them to make shots, aren't you?
Yeah, see, I wasn't going to say that.
I'm sure you make me out to be the bad guy.
Right here, the penetration, the drop, and the dunk. The Cougars making their presence felt in the paint early. We're all tied up.
Right in front of the Royal Hawaiian. That's that, famous pink hotel in Waikiki Beach. It's your first time for the Diamond Head Classic, Corey, and we look at our bracket and some good basketball earlier today that went down to the wire. Liberty and Stanford moving on. And BYU South Florida is still to come. The home team, the University of Hawaii, will take on Jerry Stackhouse and Vanderbilt out of the SEC to wrap up day one.
A great couple of games this evening, and you're right. Rookie season out here at the Diamond Head Classic. Got a chance to walk the beach and do a little shopping, and now I'm here with you.
So you're saying life could be better?
This is the best part. Looking forward to these games.
Tied at 8 between BYU and South Florida. On the alternating possession, it goes to BYU, and coming out of the timeout, Seneca Knight in the game for the Cougars. It stays with BYU. Also Spencer Johnson in for Mark Pope. DJ Patrick, a freshman, in for South Florida. So is Jake Boggs, a terrific outside shooter for the Bulls. Alex Barcelo looking to get on track. Seneca Knight. Inside to Caleb Lohner. And Lohner off balance, then goes down trying to poke the rebound out. South Florida the other way, and Javon Green.
Lohner's got to take his time in that one-on-one. When he gets the ball on the block, he's got plenty of time to make his move.
And a three goes for DJ Patrick in South Florida, who shoots at just 24% from three, has an 11-8 lead.
Little offense by committee, 4 or 5 different guys getting buckets here for the Bulls.
Fousseyni Traore has it sent back. Good start for Brian Gregory and the Bulls, and they've had some good starts in games. As the pull-up too strong from Caleb Murphy, the long rebound, here comes Caleb Lohner. Hits the trailer, Spencer Johnson, and a foul called on DJ Patrick of South Florida. But for the Bulls, South Florida coming off a tough loss against Florida last Saturday, game down in Sunrise, the home of the Florida Panthers of the National Hockey League, as they played the Florida Gators way down in the Miami area. And they jumped out to a 10-3 lead. Brian Gregory's team has had some good starts, but then they look up all of a sudden at halftime, and South Florida's trailing 30-16. And that has been a problem for them. They haven't been unable to find a rhythm and sustain it offensively this year. Seneca Knight missing from the corner, and the rebound chasing it down is Byron Matos, and it's kept alive, and South Florida has it. And here comes Trey Moss.
You look at a team and they're struggling from the floor. One of the things you always want to take a glance at is the assists. Are guys setting each other up? Because that leads to more high percentage shots. And right now, the one-on-ones are great when everybody's hitting, but eventually, you're gonna have to move that rock.
But one thing that has been consistent for South Florida is their defense. It has been terrific all season.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll keep you in the game every night. As long as you contest and defend, make sure that team doesn't shoot it at a great percentage. As you see another good miss and a block, and then they come up with the defensive rebound right there.
So DJ Patrick blocks a shot at Gideon George. Patrick hits Boggs in the corner. Jake Boggs missing a three. Offensive rebound, Matos for South Florida. Boggs to the bucket. And off balance, missed the floater, and it's pulled down by Spencer Johnson. for BYU.
I think Boggs was surprised he was that wide open on that layup.
He expected somebody to be there.
I think so.
A three on the way from Spencer Johnson. And the rebound falls to Jameer Chaplin for South Florida, as the Cougars have just 8 points in over 8 minutes. And BYU having their problems on the offensive end. They've made one of their last 9. They missed their last 6. And they're just 3 for 12 to start the game.
Well, the Cougars have abandoned the inside game. It was paying dividends early, but they've fallen in love with jump shooting. And against a team like this, making it easy, playing right into their hands.
Jake Boggs airballs a 3. Goes out of bounds to BYU. South Florida the lead. Look at Waikiki Beach, the outrigger right there. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Hawaiian Airlines. Hawaii flies with us. Outrigger Hotels and Resorts, where local culture meets world-class hospitality. And Dollar General, where you save time and money every day. The Hawaiian Islands, so happy to be back after we missed last year for the 12th annual Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. Such great hospitality, they take wonderful care of us. So thrilled that we're back over here in Honolulu. South Florida and BYU, 2 tightly contested games already today to start the 2021 tournament. And 11-8 South Florida right now at the lead, and South Florida's defense is the story so far, holding BYU down.
Love to see the set play the Cougars come with out of the timeout. Get a glimpse into Coach Mark Pope's playbook.
Diving for it, Atiki Aliatiki for BYU, 10 to shoot. Spencer Johnson attacks. The floater by Spencer Johnson for BYU.
And that's a good shot for him, but that's also a good option defensively if you're South Florida. Run him off the three-point line, turn him into a guy who has to drive the basketball, but a nice floater.
DJ Patrick cut off. Sam Hines Jr. on the baseline, 7 to shoot, launching a 3, Jameer Chaplin. And the rebound, Gideon George for the Cougars, and BYU looks to run. Spencer Johnson hustling, and he throws it right to Sam Hines Jr. as he was falling out of bounds, and it's a steal for the Bulls.
It was Coach Wooden who said, you want to be quick, but don't hurry. And right there, you're trying to get something in transition, a little bit of a sloppy play. And for South Florida, Rox, I don't think they've had a layup yet in this game. Everything's been outside shot attempts, and they still find themselves with the lead.
And so far this year, Corey, for South Florida, Brian Gregory, that has not been a good recipe because they have yet to find their stride on the offensive end. And look, Brian Gregory's got so many newcomers on this roster. He has 10 newcomers, 8 transfers, including 7 Division I transfers. So he was patient. He knew it was going to take time. Off the inbound, DJ Patrick stepped on the sideline before making a 3, so a turnover on South Florida. But Brian Gregory knows he's got to be patient with this group considering all the newcomers he's got on this roster. And there's the struggles they've had offensively this year.
Not being able to connect and create shots for each other. Then when they do have shots, you know, those two stats are going to be tied together. When they increase, you know, their assists, you're going to see those field goal percentages go up. But right now, the emphasis should be on attacking the rim and creation for your teammate. Right now, a lot of guys, one dribble pull-ups, and they've been making a few of them, but right now, you know, we're 10 minutes in, they've only got 11 points, and they've all been jump shots.
2 fouls and DJ Patrick now of South Florida. Dijon Lucas. Gideon George from out there. And a 3 gives BYU the lead again.
Good ball movement. George tees it up from downtown. The Cougars back in front. Roxy, you talked about their offensive struggles early on in this game. They want to get on track with 3s and layups as well.
Gideon George's first points. He's had a slow start offensively to the year. That was just his 4th made 3. And he was a really good scorer for BYU at times last year. As the rebound, Atiki for the Cougars. Seneca Knight launching. Rims out a three, and the rebound, Jameer Chaplin for South Florida. And South Florida, who does want to run when they have opportunities. Here's the pull-up moving in, Javon Green.
Nice and smooth. The one dribble pull-up, good pump fake. They've got quick players that can beat you off the bounce. Nice mid-range shot.
He's a transfer from George Mason, Javon Green. Off the hands of Atiki, and a steal for South Florida. Sam Hines Jr. then lost it out of bounds, and it goes right back to the Cougars. South Florida with these 8 transfers, 7 Division I transfers, 10 newcomers. It's been a work in progress for Brian Greger in the offensive end. It's Gideon George missing the three, and the rebound, Jameer Chaplin again for South Florida. Already 4 boards for Chaplin.
The Cougars, without their best player on the floor for a few minutes, getting a rest here, Alex Barcelo. They're trying to generate some offense, but he really leads the show for them in terms of creation, as you see him coming back to the scorer's table, about to get busy again.
Stripped by Chaplin. And Gideon George hustling, and he's fouled in the backcourt. And the foul is on South Florida. Sam Hines Jr. called for his first. Team foul number 6, so the next one will put BYU into the bonus for the rest of the half. And a BYU team that began the season 6-0. And they blasted Oregon in a game in Portland. In fact, BYU began the season with 3 straight wins over teams that made the NCAA tournament last year. They beat Cleveland State, San Diego State, and then Oregon to start the year.
You know, in my opinion, at full strength, they're a top 15 team. The way they handled San Diego State and the Oregon Ducks, they really made a statement. And the way that they play is going to be consistent night after night. They share the ball. They do a lot of great things offensively. But these injuries are going to take their toll.
And it stinks because Gavin Baxter was playing fabulous basketball. Richard Harwood never got his season started, unfortunately, for BYU. Tied at 13. Just over 7.5 to go until halftime. We'll have 2 more bowl games for you Thursday on ESPN and the app at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. That means at 10:30 over here in Honolulu. The North Texas Mean Green take on Miami of Ohio in the inaugural Frisco Football Classic. Then it's a Sunshine State matchup between UCF and Florida in the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Certainly the most wonderful time of the year. We'll have a bowl game literally just steps away from the Stan Sheriff Center on Christmas Eve. Mark Pope and BYU tied at 13 with South Florida. Hawaii will play Memphis in the Hawaii Bowl on Christmas Eve. Just go out one side of the arena. Complex is right there. Unlike in the past, and the game was played at Aloha Stadium, which right now is not functioning because it's condemned, unfortunately, as Fusini Traore for BYU, and the Cougars reclaim the lead.
They come out with their bigs again, go 4 out and 1 in, and let him run block to block. Want to get back to that inside play. They've shot it well in the paint.
Here's a 3 launch, and the pure stroke. Javon Green has 9 for South Florida. The Bulls are up 1.
Right now, he's the bright spot, shooting 80% from the floor, 4 of 5. Keep getting him the rock as they hang around and retake the lead.
Caleb Lohner launching a 3. He is now 1 for 18 outside the arc on the season. Running the floor and the lay-in to the block goes Corey Walker Jr., and it's South Florida by 3.
Some good things happening for South Florida. They hit the jump shot, they get the defensive rebound, and they come and get a transition bucket, and now they get a turnover. Good sequence right here for the Bulls to see if they can capitalize. Back to the man with the hot hand.
Too strong on the banker. Caleb Lohner clears. Tijon Lucas pushes. Trying to get it to Traore. It goes off the foot of Sam Hines Jr. and it stays at this end with BYU.
Well, Rox, what do you do when you're 3 of 4? You make it 4 of 5. You know you got the hot hand. Come right off the screen. That's a good look from dead straight on. Green out there. And in transition, The look away gathers and scores 2 high percentage shots right there. Trying to get this offense back on track.
BYU just 33% with 6 turnovers, which is uncharacteristic of a Mark Pope team, but got to give a lot of credit to Brian Gregory's defense. Pushed out of bounds by Javon Green, stays with BYU at 13 to shoot.
And that's one of the toughest plays in basketball to make. What Green just did, he rotated from the weak side and took away an easy layup. That's team defense.
Alex Barcelo, his first open look, and he nails it. Ties the game.
He's been out there so long, they lost track of him for just a second, and that's all he needed.
He's the guy you can't lose if you're South Florida.
Absolutely not. Maybe that's his ploy today, to come out, blend in, but he gets beat on a back door, but great hands right there on defense. Now this is just a pick to the corner right there, a little miss action. He just floats out, defender falls asleep, and that is a 3-ball right to the face. You got to stay with him. He's not going to miss those.
Ten to shoot. Caleb Murphy attacks, and it's deflected out by the Cougars. It stays with South Florida, and 7 on the shot clock.
Got to have a good inbounds play right here. 7 seconds right now. You don't have to think. Just run the play. Run what coach drew up, and somebody's going to get a look.
Shot clock at 5. Corey Walker Jr. launches. Well short. Caleb Lohner pulls it down.
Pretty confident in saying that that probably wasn't the play. Corey Walker from 3, not the way they drew it up. Good action right there. Ball movement to the money man.
Back-to-back threes. Alex Barcelo. Timeout, South Florida.
We talked with Coach Pope about what makes him so good. It's the fact that he can score without having the ball in his hand. They rotate it, and he sticks it.
Alex Barcelo starting to heat up for BYU. Has hit back-to-back threes. Fueled by Barcelo, a 6-0 run. He's one of the top scorers out west when you look at the leading scorers. Terrell Brown Jr., the transfer from Arizona, who began his college career at Seattle at UW. David Roddy for Colorado State, who's undefeated, but the Rams right now are on pause. It's one of a number of teams dealing with COVID issues within their program. Caleb Murphy slotted away. Kept alive though by Walker. Boggs, 3 to shoot. Caleb Murphy. And Caleb Lohner elevates over everybody for the rebound.
Good defensive sequence right there for BYU. Come up with that rebound, and there you see the pick and the roll.
Backdoor to reverse lane, Barcelo from Fusini Traore.
And we talked about the fact that he does not have to have the ball in his hands to be a threat. And right there, he just comes on a normal cut and is able to get a layup. They run so much action away from him, and then he finishes the play with the shot.
8 straight from Barcelo. Remember when he was scoreless? Just a couple of minutes ago.
Well, he's a great player. Like I said, he doesn't have to be the focal point. He's the guy that stays away from the action, and they make you rotate off of him, and then they get him to rock.
A collision hit of the deck is Javon Green for South Florida. A foul against the Cougars, who are rolling right now.
Barcelo can hurt you from 3, but right here he comes in the lane for the little underneath 2. And the Cougars up 5.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Ticket Smarter, a smarter way to buy tickets to live events. Another gorgeous day in paradise in Honolulu. Look at Waikiki Beach from BYU on an 8-0 run, fueled by Alex Barcelo. Up 5 on South Florida. The Bulls scoreless for about 3 minutes right now. As Barcelo kicking it into gear, one of the top scorers in college basketball. One of the best shooters, and Brian Gregory knows what he needs from his defense. They have to find a way to shut down Alex Barcelo.
Yeah, and defense isn't the problem. They just lose track of him in certain instances. Your natural instinct is to rotate, but you got to remember who you're rotating off of, because he'll hurt you every time.
Jameer Chaplin way off the mark on that one.
Having
and
a rough.
It goes over to BYU.
Yeah, he's having a rough night. hasn't hit 9 shot attempts, 0 for 9.
Seneca Knight having to play a little bit more inside with the absence of Baxter and Harward. And they call Knight for a travel. And BYU now with 7 turnovers, and the Cougars only give it away 11.5 times a game.
Great defensive effort right there by Javon Green. Stayed with him in the post, made him shuffle the feet. And those are the possessions that keep you in the game.
Offensive foul, illegal screen on Byron Matos, his second.
Boy, Matos, the biggest man on the floor right now, doesn't need to move to set a screen. He can just stand there. Picks up that moving screen. And as a coach, you hate to see your bigs picking up ticky-tack fouls out there. If you want your big guys to be physical in the paint, picking up fouls in there, that's one thing. But setting screens, that's a wasted possession.
BYU looking for another key non-conference win, as they've had a really good run. The 2 losses for BYU so far have come in overtime on the road against Utah Valley, and also losing a neutral site game in South Dakota against Creighton. As Kevin Brill, Michael Greenstein need to step in, and a foul is called against South Florida, putting Ali Atiki at the line. It's on Jake Boggs of South Florida. And Ali Atiki is just 3 for 6 from the line so far. Second straight start for the freshman. And wave off the shot. There is a lane violation against BYU.
And Rox, I was going to say, believe it or not, that was a great foul by Boggs. He was completely behind him, had no chance to stop the easy 2. He makes the foul. Not only do they get the lane violation, he wasn't going to make that free throw anyway.
23-18. South Florida's missed their last 5 shots and have gone scoreless for over 3.5 minutes now. But BYU, they already have 6 quad 1 and quad 2 wins through the non-conference, as Jameer Chaplin missed the reverse layup, but gets his own miss.
I like Chaplin's energy. He's just got to get 1 bucket to drop.
Sam Hines Jr. double clutching. Unfortunately, Brian Gregory knows this all too well. Just 27% shooting, but a steal, and Murphy is fouled. We'll get to the line. 2 shots for Caleb Murphy, who's South Florida's leading scorer on the year. Has yet to get on the scoreboard this one, as Spencer Johnson called for the foul.
Not a good possession right there for the Cougars. Caleb Lohner out there displaying his point guard skills, which leave a little bit to be desired. I'm sure Coach Pope wasn't pleased.
And Murphy the miss. He struggles at the line, believe it or not. Just a 53% foul shooter, Caleb Murphy, the freshman from Youngstown, Ohio, 4-star prospect. Paul Biancardi, our national recruiting director at ESPN, had Caleb Murphy ranked 72nd in his ESPN 100 prospects coming into college a couple of years ago. Last year, now he's still a freshman because of the COVID year. He was on the All-American Conference freshman team as Caleb Lohner to lay in. A 10-1 run for BYU.
Nice little pick and roll right there by the Cougars. They know how long to hold on to the ball to that optimal moment when the big man flashes open. That's when they give it up.
Largest lead for the Cougars. And way off is Javon Green. Tejon Lucas finds Seneca Knight. Rattles out. Spencer Johnson the offensive rebound. Tejon Lucas hesitates. And Seneca Knight called for the foul.
You know, Rox, the pick and roll is about 2 things. Obviously, the point guard has to have vision, but you want to wait on your big man. Right there, he's not open, And at this moment, you see the seal, you see the indecision, the Bulls players not knowing which way to go. Good vision right there by Lucas to hold on to the ball till the right moment.
Already 4 assists in the game for Lucas. It was better than 500 in his career, as Tejon Lucas began his college career at Illinois, then played in Milwaukee on his 3rd school as a grad transfer at BYU. Spinning to the bucket, and Jameer Chaplin with his first points finally ends the drought.
Explosive player, great quickness, struggled early. He's going to have a big second half.
Final minute of the first half.
And right now, it's hard to believe just a 4-point game, given the way that BYU's made a couple of plays and it's well documented the shooting problems of USF.
In the lane, Spencer Johnson to miss. And the rebound secured by Sam Hines Jr. for South Florida. Then a double dribble. And he gives it right back to Brigham Young.
It was super late, but that was the right call. He got away with it for half a second. Right here, you see the indecision. He knows he's got to outlet this to the point guard, and he kind of picks it up, but Lohner's in the way.
And now a technical on Brian Gregory, a frustrated coach for South Florida.
That's a tough call right there. I mean, it's a 4-point game. You're shooting 18% from the field, or 29% from the floor, 18% from three. And now you give him a pair of free throws.
And Alex Barcelo, a 90%er. Makes both. And he has 10 now to lead BYU. So Barcelo played 2 years at Arizona, taking advantage of that 6th year. And he is the top three-point shooter percentage-wise in BYU history at right below 49%.
Boy, there are some names on that list. You and I have done a handful of games in recent years, and you know there's guys at BYU that can absolutely fill it up.
Second foul on Sam Hines Jr. of South Florida, and Tijon Lucas to the line for the Cougars. Lucas 78%. 2 shots for Lucas. Two-time All-Horizon League while playing in Milwaukee. And the first point of the game for Tijon Lucas. Closing in on 1,200 career points at the 3 stops for Lucas. Last year he led the Horizon League at both assists and steals. He averaged almost 6 assists a game last year. Largest lead for BYU. Attacking the bucket, and a foul first on the drive as Jameer Chaplin was bumped.
You can see Chaplin's eyes got big. As soon as he got the ball, he knew he could beat his man one-on-one. He's missed a lot of shots early, but right there, you see that kept his aggressiveness going to the rim.
Second on Spencer Johnson, a 1-and-1 for Chaplin, 77%. 17.1 left in the half. That is the 7th BYU team foul. And one more for Jameer Chaplin. His dad Michael played at Texas and St. Peter's. Double figures in 3 of South Florida's first 9 games this year. Averaging 6.5 points a game, missed a second. Now the Cougars can play for the final shot of the half, should they choose to do so.
You don't want to send anybody to the line. You want to defend without fouling. Get a hand up. Play smart for the Bulls. Good trap. And to rotate now.
Seneca Knight has it blocked, but it goes in the horn. How about that for an ending to the half for BYU?
Well, that's crazy. You do everything right, and it still doesn't matter. Guys did a great job rotating over. The officials are going to take a look to see if it got out of his hand in time, but no question about this. Ball goes to the corner. Both defenders come over, make good plays on the ball right there. Just blocked it into the rim.
BYU closes the half, assuming the basket is good, on a 16-4 run. So South Florida jumped out to an early lead. We've seen that before from the Bulls this year. Brian Gregory knows that his team has started well, just been unable to sustain it. And they trail by 9 at the half. BYU 31. South Florida 22 as Alex Barcelo 10 points to lead BYU. Javon Green 9 to lead the Bulls. Halftime from the studio coming up after the break. The Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. Quarterfinal number 3, BYU up on South Florida at the break. BYU plus 10 in rebounding. Now, South Florida's forced 9 Cougar turnovers, but the familiar theme, unfortunately, for Brian Gregory. South Florida starts 5 of 10 from the field. Then they missed 19 of their last 22.
We had a lot of energy, a lot of adrenaline in those opening 10 minutes. Everybody's hitting their one dribble pull-ups because legs are fresh. But as the game wears on, you need your system to create good looks for your guys instead of the one-on-one. So the Bulls will have to start working for each other, trying to create some easy opportunities. They've got guys that can go to the rim. See if they turn that switch.
The lob for Atiki Aliatiki underneath.
Oh, that's great defense right there. They rotate, take away a sure 2.
And then he stumbled trying to move away from the double team.
That's basically a dunk with any other team, but the way they rotate to the ball and anticipate, outstanding defensive club.
And look, Atiki Aliatiki may not be ready for these primetime minutes yet, but they're hoping by February he will be. And they're going to need him because they just don't have the bodies without Richard Harward and Gavin Baxter at center, and he's the best option they have at this point.
You're 100% right, Roxy. Basketball is all about repetition, and there's no substitute for just getting minutes and getting in a rhythm and understanding and having things happen and being coached through those early stages of the season.
And it will come. Mark Pope's really excited about the future for Atiki Aliatiki. Thinks he's going to be really good, but he's still learning. And Mark Pope knows he needs to be patient with him. And at times he's tempted to move Caleb Lohner to the 5, but Caleb Lohner's not a 5. He's really a 4. And you don't want to put him in an uncomfortable position. And then if you're moving him to the 5, then who are you playing at the 4? As Trevin Nell with his first points of the game and the largest lead for BYU.
Well, you know, Roxy, one of the things as a player, who you play with has a lot to do with how you develop. When you play with guys that have a high basketball IQ, you learn the game the same way. So when you talk about bringing a player along, how he's going to score, the situations they need him to be in, that's going to be a huge advantage to him as this season progresses.
Shot clock approaching 5. Javon Green, kick out. Stepping back for a 3 from the corner. And that's a shot clock violation as Caleb Murphy the air ball. And the struggles continue for South Florida.
And I know it's cliche, Roxy, but they've got to work for each other. They've got a bunch of quick guys that can beat their man one-on-one, but they've got to set each other up out of that. Instead, guys are looking for their shots out of the one-on-one. Hey, look at that rotation defensively here. They go on the ball screen. They rotate as a team and get to shooters.
Dijon Lucas penetrates, finds an open Alex Barcelo. Caleb Lohner the offensive rebound. Trevin Nell moves in, and Atiki Aliatiki wasn't looking for the pass.
Well, that's just trying to be a little too cute right there for the Cougars. They had plenty of open looks. Nell's got to shoot that and hope the big fella can get the rebound if he misses, but no excuse right there. Take the open shot.
Trevin Nell too unselfish?
A little bit.
Where's the offense going to come from for South Florida? Sam Hines Jr. the kick out. Trey Moss launching a 3. And the offensive rebound down low pulled out by Jalen McCreary. Finds a cutting! Jameer Chaplin and 1.
Wow, that was a big time finish right there in the lane from Chaplin. He got that in traffic. And if you watch at the last second, watch what he does with his hand here. You're gonna see the great offensive rebound. He comes cutting down the lane. When the contact happens, he just turns it over and puts it off the glass. When you talk about body control and upper body strength, that was a heck of a play right there.
First foul on Caleb Lohner. Chaplin is 1 of 2 from the line. And the old school three-point play pulls South Florida to within 8.
They've given themselves an opportunity the last few trips. They've been able to rotate and contest and force turnovers and take away potential layups. That's the reason it's just an 8-point game right now.
Husseini Traore tries the jump hook, out of bounds, will stay at this end. 13 to shoot for the Cougars. Still to come later tonight, our last quarterfinal matchup, the home team. Iran Ganat's Rainbow Warriors from the University of Hawaii take on Vanderbilt and Jerry Stackhouse. And luckily for Iran Ganat, they're not going to be playing one-on-one.
No.
Shot clock winding down. Caleb Lohner fouled just before the expiration.
I tell you what, Rox, with the NBA situation the way it is, Stack might want to keep an eye on his cell phone. They're calling everybody back to the league right now.
And Jerry looks like he can still play.
Oh my God, great shape. We had a chance to talk with him yesterday, enjoying coaching and the new phase of basketball in his life, doing a great job.
One more for Caleb Lohner. 6 points, 9 rebounds for the sophomore from Dallas. Back to a 10-point lead for BYU. Jalen McCreary attacks. McCreary up and over Traore.
Really nice move right there. Took it right at the defender with the soft touch. Cougars may have gotten away with a bump right there. No call. Refs letting them play today.
Trevin Nell straight on. 3!
When you can shoot it like that, there's no reason to hesitate. We were on them earlier about passing up an open look, and that's why right there. Beautiful stroke.
Matches the Cougars' largest lead. Too strong from Jalen McCreary. BYU pushes. Trevin Nell in transition inside to Lohner. Up and under from T-John Lucas, then he missed the shot, and here comes Trey Moss countering. And the foul as Javon Green is bumped by Alex Barcelo.
Right here, you're gonna see great ball movement, get it out front. And the Cougars from dead away downtown, nothing but net. Cougars up big.
Northern Iowa, A.J. Green at the horn had a chance, but Liberty escapes with a win to move on and play Stanford in the semifinals as the Cardinals had to dodge one lane. Xavier Dussel the miss, and at the horn, Hunter Maldonado nearly got it. And Stanford, they escape with a 66-63 win. So Jared Hass and the Cardinals taking on Liberty in one semifinal. The winner of our third quarterfinal matchup of the day will take on the winner of the remaining game, the last one tonight between Hawaii and Vanderbilt. That'll be over on ESPN2. Point lead for BYU. Here, Chaplin here is Javon Green. Stumbling against Lohner on the baseline. Open jumper, rims off for Jalen McCreary. BYU, Cougars trying to advance and stay in the top half of the winner's bracket. Here is a corner jumper. Javon Green comes up empty. Husseini Traore, here comes BYU. By the way, tomorrow night, regardless of the outcome in our final game, as Caleb Lohner missing the jump hook, controlled by South Florida, Hawaii will play the last game of the day regardless. And then Vanderbilt will play in game number 3 tomorrow, again, regardless of the outcome later tonight. So the winner and loser of this game have to see, okay, they don't know what time they'll play until the that game comes to a close at the end of the night. Alex Barcelo turns the corner, and it's knocked away, and it is off BYU, and it belongs to South Florida.
And Roxy, you wonder why the Cougs can't really pull away, even though they're up 11. It's plays like this where you got a great player coming to the rim, he's going for his layup, they make the block off of his head. They've made 3 stops in a row, and I'm talking about South Florida. Even though they haven't made a bucket, they haven't given one up. And this back and forth is what keeps them in basketball games. They make great defensive plays, they get steals, they get blocks.
Von Green in the key, and a travel call. And South Florida turnover to BYU. And South Florida got off to a pretty decent start, Corey. Their shots were going down. They were making a couple threes early. But then, unfortunately, what has been a familiar story for Brian Gregory all season, and it's the struggles that they have had on the offensive end, as South Florida, so far this season, has scored over 60 points in a game just twice.
And they play so hard defensively, you know that takes a toll on your legs throughout the course of a game. But, those one dribble pull-ups they were knocking down early in the game, they're starting to falter a little bit. But at the defensive end, as they secure another board right there, they're able to hang around. But you're right, the one-on-one play, right now they've got to lead and start to play for each other. Right now, everybody putting the ball on the floor, trying to create something for themselves. Not a lot of assists going on, and as soon as I say that, they get an assist. Great play right there.
Byron Matos. First points of the game for the transfer from New Mexico is Byron Matos, originally from Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic. Deflected, intended for Spencer Johnson.
Almost 30 minutes into the game, and this is the 4th assist of the night for the Bulls. Beautiful play, and that's what they need to focus on. Break the defense down, high percentage shots, and then still commit to the defense on this end.
Spencer Johnson. And a loose ball, out of bounds. We're going the other way. Belongs to the Bulls of South Florida.
6th or 7th trip in a row that the Cougars have come up empty, and you got to give credit to this USF defense.
Well, Mark Pope is used to playing a team named USF in green and gold because the University of San Francisco, and it's funny, but both schools want to be known as USF. And look, San Francisco's won a couple of national championships, not granted a long time ago, until Russell, Casey Jones, back in the 50s. But I've always kind of joked that, maybe the first game of the season, South Florida should always play San Francisco. Corey Walker cleans it up for the Bulls. But South Florida should play San Francisco, and the winner of that game gets to be known as USF for the rest of the season.
I like it. I like it a lot. It would make our jobs a little easier. There you see another putback right there for the Bulls. Got it to a 7-point game. Now this is crucial. Deep into the possession, the last 10 seconds. Can you defend without fouling?
Broken up, intended inside for Atiki Aliatiki. And a kick ball by BYU. It belongs to South Florida.
About 8 stops in a row right now for this South Florida defense.
And BYU has gone scoreless for about 4:15. And South Florida creeping back into the game. The Bulls are within 7. Still plenty of time in this one. Quarters of the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Hit Classic. Everybody. Speaking of Santa, the annual NBA on Christmas Day tradition continues. 5 of the best gifts anyone could want. The star-studded schedule starts at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, 7 a.m. out here on Christmas Day on ESPN. The Hawks and Knicks, then over on ABC, Celtics and Bucks. The Warriors and the Suns. Nets and Lakers on ABC and ESPN. And the day capped off with the Mavs and Jazz, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. 8:30 there in Salt Lake City. What a Christmas Day NBA lineup. Or as we like to say over here, Corey, I'm teaching you now, your first Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Hit Classic, Mele Kalikimaka.
Mele Kaligimaka.
There you go.
Yeah, I always repeat what you say anyway. You know.
That's not always a good lesson to follow.
These name pronunciations in college basketball, I look to you to lead the way.
DJ Patrick with 10 to shoot. Here's Caleb Murphy. Rolling down on South Florida. Tough three from Trey Moss. Kept alive on the offensive glass. And to finish inside, Corey Walker pulls South Florida within 5.
Anybody named Corey is a baller, Roxy. I'm just here to tell you, a couple of putbacks. He's pumped up. Horrible offensive possessions, air balls that Corey Walker has gone up, rebounded, and made plays happen.
Alex Barcelo short on the 3. Corey Alexander's on line 1 saying he agrees.
He spells it with no E. He doesn't count. Talking C-O-R-E-Y, the correct way to spell.
On the baseline, attacking a Seneca Knight. Offensive rebound, Caleb Lohner. And a South Florida player is slow to get up. That's Byron Matos. And the Bulls come away with it, and they can creep even further back.
There is a psychological lid on the rim for the Cougars right now. Everything that they shoot is challenged, and there you're going to see an elbow. Oh, actually, they're going to get a blocking foul.
Rebound number 11 for Caleb Lohner, then a foul against South Florida. It's on Corey Walker Jr., his first.
Roxy, as a defender, these are the worst plays to try to stop right here, where there's crazy shots, the ball's bounce, and they don't get a body on Walker. He's able to get in the lane and get the putback. A couple plays earlier, he rebounded an air ball, got an easy putback as well.
So Walker, who didn't play the first 7 games of the year for South Florida with a leg injury, now has come off the bench in each of the last 3, had not scored a college point prior to today. And he has 8 in the game. It's BYU for about 5.5 minutes is scoreless. Fousseyni Traore and the offensive glass will get to the line to try to end the drought for BYU. Corey Walker Jr. whistled for number 2. But Walker, who played at Tennessee, or was with Tennessee last year, transferred to South Florida. Jacksonville native, missed the entire season because of contact tracing and then was hindered with a broken toe, so sat out the entire year, transferred, and dealt with an injury earlier this year and having an impact today to help bring South Florida back.
Yeah, you talk about making the most of your opportunity. It's a long, hard road for him to get out here on the court. And boy, some really big plays, much needed plays at a time where it looked like the Cougars were going to pull away.
Fousseyni Traore ends the drought.
And even then, it was done at the free throw line. And if I'm in South Florida, I'm not too worried about that. If you get some points at the line, that's fine. But BYU hasn't seen the ball go in for quite a while.
Caleb Lohner, 12 rebounds for Lohner.
Doing a great job on the glass for the Cougs. Little transition, trying to get it inside, get some action off the post speed.
Seven-point lead for BYU. They've led for the majority for about 10 minutes remaining in the first half on. Caleb Lohner one more time.
They're doing the big dirty work in the paint right there. Lohner banging away, second and third opportunities. Good putback right there for the Cougars. They really needed a bucket.
Career high 13 rebounds for Lohner now. First field goal in nearly 7 minutes for the Cougars. And a whistle, that's on Alex Barcelo of BYU. Whistled for his second, just inside 9 minutes to go. And the struggles that BYU has had from the floor have helped South Florida get back in the game, although BYU has pushed it back out to 9 after the Bulls had cut it to 5. And Barcelo getting a breather here. And so is Fousseyni Traore as Atiki coming back in.
I'll tell you right now, South Florida shooting a terrible 2 for 17 from downtown. In a game like this, you get 2 or 3 more shots to fall, we're all tied up here. But unfortunately, they just haven't been able to connect from long range. I think BYU's did a great job of rotating the shooters.
Jake Boggs stepping back for 3. And there is another 14 rebounds for Lohner. stays with the Cougars.
You know, we touched on it at the beginning, but being up close and personal, watching South Florida play, you know this will be the story for them this year. Can they score offensively? Because there's no doubt in my mind that they can defend. As you look at them right there, the ball's on the floor, 5 seconds left in the possession.
Trevin Nell doesn't get it off. Shot clock violation.
That's defense right there. Old school, stay with your man. Nobody needs any help defense, but the offensive side of the ball's going to make the difference for them.
And South Florida's defense has been terrific today. They've been really good at that end of the floor.
Right, you can tell when a team enjoys defending. The way they fly to the ball, it doesn't matter whose man it is. They attack the ball. You penetrate the lane, we are at you. You pass the ball and skip past, we recover.
The problem is they're shooting 29% and are 2 of 18 from 3. Caleb Murphy doesn't have a field goal. He's their leading scorer on the year. That's a foul on the drive as Javon Green getting into the paint. Fouls on Spencer Johnson, his third. 7:51 to go. BYU 42, South Florida 33. Some coffee growing over here in the islands. College football playoff is coming on New Year's Eve. 2 great matchups. Dancing right into the new year, leading up to the championship game. And Caleb Lohner having a monster effort here for BYU, a career-high 14 rebounds.
You look at having a nose for the ball, whether it's anticipating where it's going to come off the rim. He's been the man on the spot, rolling down the lane, sticking to the script. His team has done a good job of finding him, but we talk about going to war in the paint. The big guy, the muscles, the heart and soul of this team. This isn't the lineup they anticipated having, but you talk about stepping into the breach and stepping up. He's done that for them. Tell
me he's not a doppelganger for Rob Thomas.
I definitely have to agree with you on that one.
Matchbox 33. What do you think?
Yeah. Big possession here out of the timeout. Usually come with a set play, try to get your best option.
Shot clock hitting 5. Jake Boggs hands it off. Jameer Chaplin off balance, crazy shot, and the rebound. Fousseyni Traore for BYU, who looks to attack and counter.
A lot of contact on that shot, no call. Green doing an outstanding job. Staying with Barcelo, doesn't give him up in any situation.
Tejon Lucas. Here is Lohner for 3. And a foul on Barcelo. Number 3 on Alex Barcelo with inside 7 minutes to go. Take it back, that's the 4th on Barcelo. So 4 fouls now on Alex Barcelo, so Mark Pope needs to yank him out of the game. And Barcelo has not scored since halftime. Jake Boggs missing on the baseline, the rebound, Spencer Johnson.
You just feel like if the Bulls could get some offense going, this could be an issue for them. Barcelo on the sidelines, 7 minutes to go, plenty of time, single-digit game. They just can't get a shot to drop.
Foul as Fousseyni Traore heading in. Byron Matos called for his 3rd. That's just team foul number 4 on South Florida. So Barcelo's sitting with 4 fouls, 6:40 to go. And if you're Mark Pope, how do you manage the rest of this game because of the foul issues for Barcelo?
You got to go to set plays, let the ball do the work, and hope your guys can knock down some shots like that.
Gideon George, his second 3 of the game. Largest lead for BYU. So after South Florida chipped it down to 5. BYU's on a 7-0 run, and now South Florida's gone scoreless for about 5 minutes. You love defense, we've got the game for you.
Every shot contested.
And it rolls in for Byron Matos. Ten-point game. Seneca Knight cut off in the key. Knight slip to the basket and a slam. Fusini Traore for BYU.
And that's the first defensive breakdown we've seen for South Florida. They're going to take a timeout as they know they are in the danger zone with only 5.5 minutes left in this game.
BYU has matched their largest lead of the game.
Right now, this is an easy look. He slips the screen, doesn't set it and forget it. The easy jam for the Cougars as they're up 12 here, trying to put this one away.
By Hawaiian Airlines. Hawaii flies with us. Outrigger Hotels and Resorts, where local culture meets world-class hospitality. And Dollar General, where you save time and money every day. Looks like the infinity pool. Right into the ocean right there. Game 4, our final quarterfinal matchup. Yes! Shaka, Jerry Stackhouse, brings his Vanderbilt Commodores in to play the home team, University of Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Stack looks relaxed, calm.
Had a chance to hang out with him a little bit yesterday at the Coaches for Cancer reception. Enjoying the great view, good food.
Deflected out by Gideon George. 14 to shoot. 12-point lead for BYU.
You kind of feel like it's go time right now for South Florida. They got to try to pitch a shutout over this last 5 minutes and get some buckets where they can, even if it's the free throw line.
And Caleb Murphy will go to the line for South Florida. Is Barcelo. Alex Barcelo scoreless in the second half and now sitting with 4 fouls. And his 10 points basically came in a spurt there in the first half that helped BYU create some separation.
A lot of times that's what you need. Obviously, he'll get put back in this game as a closer, somebody they want handling the ball and maybe knocking down free throws if this game is tight. But right now, you're talking about some character development for Mark Pope's squad. How can we win? What can guys do with Barcelo on the sideline? That's big-time experience because it's a very long season. You're going to have nights where you're going to be in this situation. So you want to make sure guys know how to react.
Let's face it, the points have been tough to come by in this game.
Well, you got to give South Florida a lot of credit right there. You see 3 defenders just tying up the ball on the way to the rim.
Stays with BYU.
The length and the position and the footwork, I can't say it enough. It's just been amazing to see guys play this intense on the defensive end of the floor for the whole game.
And that's a credit to Brian Gregory and his team, the way they bought in and knowing that the offensive struggles, it's going to happen, but as long as your defense shows up, you're going to have a chance to win on a nightly basis.
Rox, you and I have done so many BYU games where they've had scores in the 80s and 90s, and that's the way they play. Up-tempo, they move the ball, they've got great shooters, and here they're sitting at 47 points with under 5 minutes to go. You can't do anything but give credit to this team defensively. They've come out, contested shots. BYU's still playing a very good game and has a chance to put this one away, but it has not been easy for them tonight.
And BYU averages over 77 points per game. On the offensive glass, missing the putback, Jalen McCreary kept alive though by the Bulls. Caleb Murphy backs it out. But South Florida's used to doing this to teams. Here's McCreary in the paint. And he can't get the roll, and Tijon Lucas the rebound, and there's a reach-in foul. And it's on Corey Walker of South Florida, his third. But, for example, When South Florida played Auburn earlier this year, Auburn came into that game against South Florida averaging 85 points per game. And Brian Gregory's team held Auburn to 58 points in that game. Now, Auburn won the game, but because of the defense, South Florida's right there, and they lost a close one, 58-52. They've lost to Florida, to neutral floor. They lost at Boston College. As Gideon George launching a three. 3 threes for George. That's a welcome sight. For Mark Pope, considering Gideon George had the entire season coming into today, made a total of 3 threes.
Well, they've been big here in the second half. Every time they needed a bucket, he stepped up.
He was 3 for 21 from 3 on the year coming in. He's 3 for 4 in the game. Ten to shoot. Corey Walker Jr. Trevin Nell the rebound for the Cougars.
I think Mark Pope will look to close this game out without Barcelo even coming back in. At a 13-point cushion. Guys seem to have found a rhythm.
Gideon George again. The rebound, Jalen McCreary for South Florida. Barcelo's still sitting, and we have 2:50 to go.
He's at the majority of the starting lineup sitting down over there. This is where you want to be if you're a head coach. Up double digits, under 4 minutes. Starters getting a breather.
That one wasn't even close from Jalen McCreary. South Florida is now 1 for their last 12.
And that's been the story for them. Just can't connect. They've had plenty of open looks.
Tejon Lucas milking the clock. And a bump. Third on McCreary. 2:16 to go, BYU's largest lead.
Well, sometimes it's about being in the right place at the right time. And right now, the Cougars rotating the ball to the 3, knocking it down, giving them a little cushion tonight. Some great shooting by the Cougars here in the second half, and that's made all the difference.
On Liberty. And then our second semifinal tomorrow night. Don't have a time just yet, just because Hawaii will play the late game regardless, and they're going to play the late game tonight, still to come against Vandy. That's Santa. Didn't know he was part of the UH marching band.
Didn't know he was on a diet. Kind of thin for a Santa.
I need to do what Santa's been doing then.
Kind of fasting, or I don't know.
Alex Barcelo still sitting for Mark Pope and BYU. 2:16 to go. He has 4 fouls, but the urgency not really there for the Cougars to get him back in the game, considering they've opened up their largest lead of the night.
And considering you got to play 2 games in 2 days, what's the point? Right now, you're going to probably run out this one, get a win, and your star player is going to have limited minutes on him.
5 to shoot. Tejon Lucas leans in off balance, and he got it.
Tough shot by Lucas. Took his time. Old school up and under.
BYU's made 4 their last 5, putting this game away. Minute 40 to go. The Cougars looking to go to 10-2. Here's a 3. DJ Patrick missing, and Fusini Traore the rebound. And not only has Barcelo been sitting for the recent minutes, but so has Caleb Lohner.
Yeah,
South Florida's gone scoreless for about 4 minutes now. They've gone 0 for 8 from 3 in the second half. They're 2 for 20 from outside the arc tonight.
And I'll be with you tomorrow, Rox, to see how this affects guys that were able to rest on the first night.
Fusini Traore heading to the line. 2 shots for Traore. Thousands have been affected by southern and Midwest tornadoes. If you would like to help, please visit redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover from the horrible disaster. One more shot for Fousseyni Traore, the freshman from Mali. Gideon George, the offensive rebound, and he's tied up, but it's a foul. And it's on Sam Hines Jr. of South Florida. 1-1 for Gideon George. So George, who started the first 5 games of the year, then he missed a couple of games with an illness. He's come off the bench now in each of the last 4 for BYU. Has a chance to get in double figures for the 3rd time this season. 9 points. And Gideon George, a great story in trying to help out back in Africa. He's from Nigeria, and he's involved with a charity called Sneakers for Africa. Gideon George has collected over 6,000 pairs of shoes and sent them back to Africa to help out people in need. What a great effort. Also, the BYU fan base has helped donate shoes. They had a big collection during the game against San Diego State earlier this year. Just a fantastic effort for Gideon George.
That's a great story, and it's just so wonderful to see a young person so mindful of others at such a young age. You normally don't see that, but the thoughtfulness, dedication, understanding you're a part of something bigger than just college sports and what you may be going through as a person. Tremendous.
BYU's largest lead with over 42 seconds to go. And the first appearance for Hunter Erickson, a sophomore from Provo in the game for Mark Pope. Getting some run here in the final minute. BYU trying to put the finishing touches as Caleb Murphy gets to the basket. Here is Erickson. Here's a 3 launched and way off from Trevin Nell. Javon Green motors down the floor. Green fading away, throws up a wild shot, pulled down by Spencer Johnson. And BYU will look to run out the clock. Final 10 seconds, and the Cougars will go to 10-2 and move into the semifinal tomorrow night against either Vanderbilt or the home team.
Well, it wasn't pretty for the Cougars. They're a team that likes to get up and down, but they had to deal with the defense of South Florida today, who did a great job contesting and really keeping them from running away with this game. But in the end, the Cougars made some key shots, got some stops, and were able to win this game.
And BYU had a double-digit lead. South Florida came back, made it interesting. They cut it to 5, but then Brian Gregory's team just couldn't get over the hump, and BYU was able to put this one away, and the Cougars are now in the winner's bracket in semifinal number 2 tomorrow night.
Well, the good news is for BYU, it can only get better. 54 points. You know they're going to do more than that in this tournament. They want to turn it around and bounce back tomorrow and bring that offense.
11 each for Fousseyni Traore and Gideon George to lead BYU, and Caleb Lohner, a career-high 14 rebounds as the Cougars now 10-2 and South Florida falls to 4-6. So coming up, our last quarterfinal over on ESPN2 to wrap up day 1 at the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. For Corey Williams and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein, aloha for now.